A few months ago, I stood in this exact same position and said,
I literally can't believe that I quit my job to cook steak.
but unfortunately, this is going to be my last steak cook in this kitchen. Honestly, had so many good memories here, and I thought what not better way to celebrate than by cooking these two beautiful ribeye steaks, with a bit of a twist of course. I will be cooking or reverse searing this one here, and I will be pan searing this one here. And at the end of the video, I'm going to be getting my housemate in for a taste test to see which one he prefers.
Wow, that's a 10 out of 10.
I look back on the version of myself when I first did that video, and I look at that bloke and I'm just like, wow, he has come a long way. This is a bit of a celebration cook, I guess, to end let's just say end an era. And I've got two beautiful steaks here. One's a bit thinner than the other, which is obviously going to be the pan seared one, but just get a look at that marbling. Typically I would salt just before cooking, but I've actually gone ahead and pre-seasoned these steaks. So they've been sitting in the fridge for around, I would say probably 2 hours now. As you can probably tell, the salt hasn't fully absorbed. Ideally in this position, I would aim to season the steak for at least 8 hours before, but I did use a rather fine sea salt, so most of it has been absorbed. So that basically means that I don't have much preparation to do aside from actually cooking these bad boys, but they have been sitting out at room temperature for around half an hour. I've got a probe, and what I want to do is put this against the grain in the thickest part of the steak, right in the center. But now that the probe is in the steak, you want to make sure that the target temperature is set up on your phone. So I'm going to set it to 54, and as you can see, that says it's rare. I found that when you're resting a steak, if you take it off at around 46, by the time it gets up to 54, it's absolutely perfect. So that's what I like to aim for. I'm going to do the same thing. I'll add in a probe for the one that I'm pan searing, but obviously I'm not going to start the cook on that one, but we may as well do both at the same time. I'm going to start preheating this oven. Like I said, somewhere between 100 and 120 degrees Celsius is perfect for me.
110 degrees Celsius, I said, so I'm going to start that up.
It's also important to note that you want to make sure that the setting that you give the oven is on the the fan grill option, which basically means that it's going to circulate heat around. If it's fan forced, it's going to overcook the inside of the steak, which essentially defeats the purpose of a reverse sear. That has been preheating for a good few minutes now.
8 minutes, so we're sitting at 110 already, so I'm going to get that in.
In about 45 minutes, I think that steak's going to be ready for the sear, and then we'll be eating.
So it is 7:18. Normally I would use my own beef tallow. If I'm cooking a steak like this, I like to render down the fat cap just to make sure that it lubricates the pan and helps develop the crust. That's perfect. I'm gonna put that down. Whoa. What I'm gonna do is grab the trusty Steaklade grill press, now available for sale. Don't have too many left, to be honest. I only got about 100. We're flying through them, which is exciting. Let's see how this crust is looking. I'll give it a close up. Not too developed yet. The beauty of cooking a thick steak like this one is that you're not really too fussed about how the crust is developing because you have adequate time to rectify it. And I can tell that this crust is developing. You can see those bubbles there. That's how you know that the crust is developing. And just like I said before, just because it is so thick, I'm not as fussed about how quickly that crust develops. So just so you know, my little grill here has 9 options for heat, and this is cooking at number 6. Give that another flip. See how that crust is coming? That's starting to develop.
The best thing to do if you want to make Darcy happy is you leave stuff in the sink. That's the trade secret.
I don't like stuff.
The other thing to do is you leave honey around the house and he'll find it like a giant honey badger and he'll eat it all.
Me and Ollie don't have a good relationship when it comes to honey. And that has just hit 21 degrees Celsius. Look at that crust, that is unbelievable. What I'm gonna do now is take it over here and just let that rest for around 5 minutes. And by the time I get it on the pan, it should be sitting close to, say, 27, 28 degrees Celsius internally. That's already climbed up to around 29 degrees Celsius. So it's climbed 8 degrees whilst it's resting. Our other steak in the oven has just hit 39 degrees Celsius. So I also take into consideration that I am filming. So if you are at home, you could even take it up to like 41, 42 if you've got a pan ready to go. The whole point of a reverse sear is that you cook it the whole way through and all it needs is the crust development. So this one has just hit 31 degrees Celsius. It's climbed 10 degrees whilst it's resting. What I'm gonna do is get that on and at the same time, reverse seared one. And as you can see, crust is not at all developed. Now that the crust has developed on the pan seared steak, what you want to do is just start flipping it regularly because the crust is already developed. Now you're just about ensuring the steak is evenly cooked. Both getting very close. So the reverse seared steak has just hit 46 degrees Celsius and the pan seared has done a rapid climb to 47. Let's give a final look at the crust. That is insane. And that's ready for a rest. So the reverse seared steak has just hit 49. My housemate prefers his steak probably medium, just above medium rare. So I've taken that into consideration. But if you were aiming for medium rare, I would aim for around 46. And that's perfect. We'll start the rest. And we'll be slicing these open soon. So the pan seared steak has been resting for at least 10 minutes now. And look at the crust. Steak number 1, pan seared. Let's see how he did. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. That is a perfect cook. For a pan seared steak, unbelievable. Steak number 2, the crust probably isn't as developed, but God, it looks good. Give it a quick salting. I just love doing this. Beautiful steak. That's perfect as well. Look at that. Now the housemate is hungry, so I don't want to mess around. We've got our reverse seared one here, and then we've got our pan seared one here.
And I, just so you guys know, I'm a reverse sear purist. So if he surprises me, I actually have no idea which one's which.
Really?
Yeah, that one's perfectly cooked though.
Okay.
Immaculate.
You go first.
The flavour on that, immaculate. That's a 10 out of 10.
Steak number 2.
Steak number 2. Very similar, a little bit more dense on the bite, but flavour is like on point. I think I prefer number 1.
You said you were a reverse sear purist. That was the first one was the reverse sear.
Really?
Yeah, got it right. Time to eat. Next video you see will be in a new kitchen. I completely forgot about the weekly challenge that I've got going on for a free beef tallow. So because I forgot, the first 3 people that comment, I am moving house or I'm moving house, they're gonna get one for free from me personally. A free beef tallow, of course. So I do apologize if you miss out. It's gonna be in next week's video. Stay tuned. Much love, guys.